iris, okay? But the back part of the eye is where you're going to see a bunch of yellow stuff. That is fat. Okay, what does fat do for eyes? Well,
I'm
protects
Adela
them,
here, and we're
cushions
going to be
them,
dissecting a
okay?
cow eye.
Provides nourishment for them. Okay, so all that yellow stuff is on, and again, every eye is going to have a little different amount. Okay, I get that. Okay, so that's going to be fat. The brown stuff, find the brown stuff. Yep, that's fat. Yep. So the brown stuff, you're going to see basically a circle around the entire eye of brown. Everyone find it. Now, any brown you find on the eye, on the back side, will be muscle.
Muscle.
So that is remnants of muscles. What we call basically extrinsic muscles. Those are the, of course, muscles that help to move the eye up and down and side to side and all that good stuff. Okay? All right. On the front, find the cornea. On the front, find the cornea. The cornea is basically kind of a transparent looking thing, you might say, up in the front. Okay? Around the cornea is the iris. It's kind of a darker color. Okay? So around the iris is around that cornea is the iris. Okay? So you can find all those things. Now, behind the cornea is, of course, the pupil. The pupil is nothing more than what? An opening. That's all it is. It's an opening. That's all it is. It's not really a structure. It's just an opening. Okay? Now, granted, it's important to have the opening. Otherwise you're going to see, right? All right. Any questions on that? Now, the entire eyeball is covered in kind of a white,
the sclera
layer, and that's called the sclera.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the sclera. So you'll be cutting through that here in a little while. Okay. Number 2. Jump down to number 2.
Oh, I have to get my paper out.
It says cut away the fat and the muscle. I've been skipping this step because there really isn't any fat muscle per se on these eyes.
Here's a paper with our directions.
I've done a lot of eye dissection. Listen to me talking. Let's see if you have a question. So when I go to cut fat and muscle away, oftentimes there's a lot more of it than on here. These are actually pretty clean. Okay? So we're going to skip number 2. Go ahead and jump to number 3 then. Take your scalpel or razor blade. I don't care what you use. Okay? You can use whatever works best for you. Again, be careful. Don't want anyone slicing their finger. Had that happen last year. So don't want to do that because my student had to get stitches. So, all right. Here's what they want you to do. Number 3 says use a scalpel or razor blade to make an incision in the cornea. So you're going to make one incision through the cornea. Do that now, please. I'm not asking you to cut out the cornea. Just cut one slice through the cornea.
What's the cornea?
You might have to put a little pressure on it. I'll cut through the cornea. Now, there should be, I say should be, because not every eye has had this. There should be some fluid that comes out. Now, if there's some fluid that comes out, that's what we call the aqueous humor. That's different than the vitreous humor. The vitreous humor is inside the middle of the eye. The aqueous humor is up near the front of the eye. But it's fluid. Okay? Everyone find that? Everyone see a little ooze or maybe not?
Maybe not.
Okay. Flip it to number 4 then. Now number 4 is it's the hardest thing to do in this lab in terms of cutting, in terms of dissecting. Take a look at number 4. It says use the scalpel to make an incision through the sclera in the middle of the eye. Okay, so what they want you to do is this. Here's what I'm going to have you do. You're going to put your eye so it's vertical. make sure we're listening here, okay? Eyes vertical. It's like, so have it facing like maybe a partner or something. Have it on your tray, and you're going to cut around, vertically, around the entire length of width, or however you want to say it, around the circumference of the eye, okay? Now, before you start cutting, understand this. If you're using a razor blade or scalpel, okay, that's probably the best thing to use, do kind of a sawing motion. Okay? It's okay to use like the tip and stuff. But again, you have to get through the sclera. Once you're through, then you can just cut around through the sclera. Okay? Get it so you have two halves, like a grapefruit. Okay? You got one half and then the other half. Some of the eyes will be dry, some of them will have ooze in it. Understand that at one point in time, all of them were filled with what we call vitreous humor, which is fluid. Some of you might have that, some of you might not. I'll give you about 5 or 6 minutes here to kind of do that. And I'm not going to move on until everyone's got their two halves open. Okay, let me come around and check on you.
You be careful with that scalpel.
Yep.
Alright, now we're going to be cutting the cow eye in half. So right there's the cow eye.
Hey!
So we just cut off all the whites.
We have to cut the cow eye in half. Like this, with a sawing motion.
We're skipping number 2.
Get your hair out of the way.
Did you do number 3?
Why isn't your hair in a
Okay.
ponytail?
You made it slip through there? Okay, good. Alright,
Don't do that.
so you're going to just hold it like this now. And cut all the way around so you get two halves. Front half.
My
and
hair
back
smells like dissections.
Okay, so you're cutting all the way around. Alright, yep. All the way around. Kind of like it around the entire eye. Okay, and so you'll end up getting two halves. That basically are
You hear
like,
that?
yep, all the way around. Again, make sure you open it up then, once you're done.
You have a
Okay?
hair rubber band? Yeah, I do. Don't touch me, though. Don't touch me.
Nope.
Don't touch me. I don't want to be touched. Shut up. I already touched you. Oh my god, you're touching me with those gross hands.
So the front of the eye has to be on one half, the back of the eye has to be on another half.
Wow, I'm
Front
touching
of
my
the eye
hair
has to be on
too.
one half, back of the eye has to be on the other half.
Oh, try to contrast.
Okay, reminder, again, as you're cutting through there, be thinking about the fact that,
It's a lot
this is
of
hard to
fat.
cut through, because, well, it is, it's the sclera.
The
The
sclera.
sclera is the whites of our eyes, okay, the part that you see, or at least you can see part of it, okay? And, yeah, it's thick like that.
I got through it. I got through the sclera.
Yeah, you gotta get two
That
halves.
goes in the way.
So you
See
got
right
two
here?
halves.
I got through the sclera. See right there?
We'll get to the ones.
I have to cut the rest of the sclera open.
You gotta,
Like this.
get two halves first, and then yeah, we'll get to the lens. We'll get to all the other things in there too. When you have your two halves, let me know. You guys are done.
Use the scissors.
You got your two
See if we
halves.
can use the scissors. Will it work? Why did I think of that earlier? Look at that. I don't care. That's gross. Show the camera, not me. Look at that. See that? Isn't that cool? It's the inside of the eye. The eye.
Get it?
Hi.
What are we doing? You guys getting there? Getting there? Slowly but surely. You guys are done. You guys still working on yours a little bit. You guys are done. Again, when you have your two halves, then we'll move on.
I'm cutting the
Excellent job. That's the vitreous humor.
Oh, it's on my hands.
you
Look
did
at
it.
that. It's gross.
Good job.
Ew, look at that.
Good
Ew,
job.
you want to touch it? You can smell it? Go away. I don't like you. Here's the lens. That's the lens.
Working on it. Looks like
See,
you
this
guys
is the
are
lens.
opening.
That's
Good.
the lens. Beauty, I don't care.
That's the lens. We'll get that. Yeah, and yours, okay, you got it now. Okay, so yours was dry.
Mine was
Theirs
dry
had
too.
fluid in it.
Ours has fluid.
Yours has fluid. Again, all eyes when they're living, of course, are filled up with that fluid. It's just that, like, some of these eyes don't have any fluid. They dried up.
My scissors aren't working
They
anymore.
did at one time. They did one time.
Don't cut your finger. Cut your finger.
Looks like we're getting there. Got a couple groups that are still kind of sawing away here.
There we go. Now it's working much easier.
No.
Cut like some pizza.
That's the cornea. There's an opening there that goes through there. That's on the back side. We'll get to that.
Can you just get it in 2 halves, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to. The square is hard to cut.
It is really. This is your.
Aren't you happy that Mr. Johnson lets you not do that? This is so gross. You want me to get the eye dissected?
You guys got 2 halves?
Don't touch me with that thing.
You guys got your 2 halves? Donis and Laurel, you guys good? You guys got your 2 halves? Okay. What?
I got the 2 halves. Watch this. Ooh,
Yeah.
is that gonna come?
There's a little,
Look at that. It's
one there.
2 halves. Can you not be so gross with that? Good, it is recording. Alright, so we got our 2 halves.
Yeah, probably fat.
In front of, on the front half, you see it will be the cornea.
What?
So this is the cornea.
It's just rubbing it from
The
the
cornea is made up of
the
pretty
eye
tough
itself
stuff.
in general.
It helps protect your eye. It also helps you by bending the light that comes into your eye. Once you have removed the cornea, place it on the board or cutting surface. Cut it with your scalpel or razor. Listen, you hear the crunch? That's the sound of the scalpel crunching through the layers of clear tissue. The cow's cornea has many layers to make it thick and strong. When the cow is grazing, blades of grass may
Okay,
penetrate the cow's eye.
now.
The cornea protects the inner eye. Interesting.
Did everyone get their 2 halves? You guys got it? Okay. All right, now, they want you to, again, I hope you saw that, again, the sclera itself is extremely thick.
There we go.
Can be difficult to sometimes get through. Take a look at step number 6. Step number 6 is saying,
To pull
the next
up
step
the
is to
iris.
pull out the iris. The iris is between the cornea and the lens. It may be stuck to the cornea, or it may have stayed with the back of the eye. Find the iris and pull it out. Now, let me tell you, the iris is a black-looking disc-shaped structure that's found probably on the side
Right here's
that has the
Iris.
lens, but it's
My
up in
lens
the
fell out.
front part of the eye.
Here's my
Take your
lens.
tweezers. Take your tweezers and try to get that pulled out. Once you think you have the iris pulled out, let me know. Because I'll go around and show everybody.
So I'm trying to take the iris out right now. See, this black part right here, circular thing, is the iris. See, Lilo? Right here's the iris.
All right,
I don't care.
So, your iris
You're big, baby.
should look like this. The iris should look like this. Again, it's round-ish, kind of more, maybe a little ovalish, but it's roundish. It's got, if you look at it closely, it's got like little lines. Again, the iris does what for the eye? How? By what? Opening and closing. So, this is the part, this is the structure that when you turn lights on, it closes down the eye. And when you turn lights off, it opens it up, okay? So again, it surrounds the pupil, but that's how the iris should look.
There we go. Now I can get to my
You want to
iris.
take a quick peek here?
Oh,
Again, that's how the iris should look. Emily did a nice
Oh,
job of
turn
pulling
the iris.
it
Why
out
not
there,
turn the iris?
so I'll return the iris to her. You get your iris. Very good.
There we
There you
go.
go.
We're getting a perfect circular iris. You have to pull it off very carefully. We have to pull it off very carefully. If you can see what I'm doing
There's
here.
probably is some adjusting like that. I mean, it's not like we can always all of a sudden develop like a tape.
Huzzah, we have the iris.
It just put on plastic. Because that has to be built with a needle to plastic. But there is, but yeah, the body, it would adapt to some extent. Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's not
This
like
is the iris.
all of a sudden grow up. Yeah. Well,
To the
we'll
back of the
get
eye. No,
jumping
we
ahead.
just pulled the iris out. See this iris?
Get
Get it away from me. It smells. See the lens? I don't care about the lens. Boy, this lens is hard.
Yep, you got
Looks
it.
like a piece of candy, won't it?
You guys got your
Shut
iris?
up.
Not yet, okay? When you're done, looks like most of you have gotten the iris out. Take a look at page 4, number 7. Step number 7. Now, this talks about the vitreous humor. Again, your eyeballs have vitreous humor in it. It fills up the entire space of the eyeball. Okay? It's just, again, some of these didn't have much, if any at all. They used to. Okay? All right, take a look at number 8. Number 8 says, the lens of the cow eye feels soft on the outside and hard in the middle. I think it just pretty much feels hard. But hold up the lens and look through it. What do you see? I don't think you're going to see anything, but grab a hold of the lens. It's the jelly bean looking thing. It's kind of gold in color.
That's the lens.
The picture shows what you see yourself as.
Huh?
It says in the picture what you see yourself.
Well, okay, but I'm gonna point that out here. So take a look at the picture, because William just noticed this, but take a look at the picture on number 8. Notice the face of that guy. Now, you're not gonna, you can't really do it with the lenses here. It just won't happen. But, if you take a look at the guy that, I think he's holding up like a magnifying glass too, but if you take a look at the guy, notice how his face looks through the lens. His face is what? It's upside down. Again, reminder, whenever we look at things, the image that's presented on the back part of our eye, on the retina, it's flipped. And yeah, of course our brains interpret it right side up, but it's flipped. The lens does the flipping. That make sense? Okay, now, to kind of get you to understand a little bit more about the lens, cut through the lens. Cut through the lens. Be careful. They are fairly hard. Yeah, cut through the lens.
Pardon me, that isn't the lens. Duh. I have to cut through the lens. Don't cut your finger. Boy, it crumbles into pieces.
Again, cut through the lens. And again, the lens looks like a jelly bean.
He always has to associate this to
Yeah.
food.
Because any lens, like for a camera, helps to focus.
Oh, it's just a weird jelly bean. Give it to them and
There we go, there's the lens.
Okay,
This is wax.
now, number 9 says put the lens down. You don't have to do that. That wouldn't work anyway. You can try to look through it. That might be kind of hard, but you can try to do that if you want. Okay, jump to number 10 then, please. Number 10, we've already kind of done. That's the vitreous humor. That's the stuff that fills in there. You don't have to worry about that. Now, you can see the retina. It's kind of on the surrounding the eye. It's the blackish part that surrounds the entire back part of the eye and stuff. Okay, but there's also a structure. Jump down to number 12. There's also a structure that I mentioned to you yesterday on your worksheets. It's called the tapetum. Take your pinchers now, or
This is the tapetum.
tweezers. Grab a hold on the back half now of the eye, the bluish structure. The bluish structure, that part of the back part of the eye, and go ahead and grab it and pull it out. Now, try and get it out in one piece if you can. If not, don't worry about it. Get it out as best you can. That's the tapetum, kind of a bluish, greenish looking structure. And what does that tapetum do?
Makes the eye reflective. In the dark.
It's the reflective device or piece.
There's the tapetum. It makes the eye reflective.
Well,
Like
we
a
don't
deer.
have these. We don't have these. So, take a look at the example they give to you. I know some of you are still kind of pulling them out, but they want you to understand animals that have tapetums, again, are better at seeing at night. Okay? So if you're driving along and you see two eyes in the ditch, you can tell your friends or your family and say, "Hey, I see two tapetums. I see two tapetums." No, don't do that. Then you're like, "Oh, weird or something." All right, so don't do that. Okay, so, but the tapetum is that bluish-looking structure, helps to kind of gather light.
I see two
Was
tapetums.
everyone able to kind of rip that out?
I see two tapetums. Tapetum. What are you doing? Just make sure it's still recording.
Hi.
What's up?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you forever.
I
We're in the middle of dissecting an eye, so.
remember this.
Yeah.
It's a cow eye dissection.
What do you up to these days?
Well, actually, no.
Really?
Yeah.
At
Speaker.
Topeka.
Yeah, I play in the ABA.
Good for you.
Actually,
Do you really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. It's been kind of a tough year.
I know.
Tough year. So you're just kind of visiting some of your old people.
Yeah, just saying hi to everybody. Yeah, I'm glad to see everybody still here.
Oh yeah. So who else did you have besides me?
I actually have this.
Menard, yeah, she's across the hall.
Yeah, I saw that. Of course.
Muraski, yeah.
Houston.
Oh, Huey, yeah.
Yeah.
He's still down in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys are the only ones that mentioned it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Muraski, I think, is in there.
Oh, I just saw him.
Oh, you did. Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, I've been.
Yeah, but
I was over there. Yeah, because when I had you, I was over there.
that's where
I've been in this room now for about 5 years. Yeah. I know. So yeah, no, it's a big room.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good room to do stuff. So,
Yeah.
but well, thanks for stopping by. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I'll
Yeah.
keep you guys-
Good luck to all of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so number 13, take a quick peek, back page. Last thing I'm going to have you do, folks, then I need to give you some time here to kind of clean up. but on the back side, where you just ripped up the tapetum, find where the optic nerve connects into the back. The optic nerve. And again, that is AKA what? Your what spot? Blind spot. Why? Because it doesn't have rods or cones. Okay? Now, the list that I have on the down there on the glossary, all those terms, except for a couple, primarily you should have found. The choroid coat is basically, notice how the inside of the eye is kind of black? That's the choroid coat. You have to understand that again, is blood vessels. Well, no blood available now, but it's darker in color because of the blood vessels, and so that would be the choroid coat in there as well, making that kind of darker color. Okay. Okay. All parts and stuff. Feel free to kind of keep dissecting if you want. Keep an eye on the time. All parts and stuff can go back into the red bucket back there, and once you're done, you're done. Make sure all instruments get cleaned up. Make sure your trays get cleaned up.
That's the tape done.
Again,
That's
all parts
the
in there.
lens.
Throw your stuff through the sink. Get them cleaned up. I got
Cut
2
this up.
soap dispensers on both these sinks right here, and you have about 9 minutes.
Why are you cutting it in half? For the hell of it. Just want to see what it think it is. Look at that. I cut it in half. So these two parts go together like this.
Yeah, there are. When we order these things, we'll just like.
They're gonna get you. Dramatic. God, man, you're mean. I'm just joking. I wonder what Mr. Johnson's gonna do with those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Like there's 5 eyes in there. Take them home for dissection. Have mom dissect them. No, I don't want to take eyes home. No. He's probably just gonna put
dry
them.
off your mats and all that stuff. Clean up, everybody, clean up.
Can I put this on your head for a crown? Put it on your head for a crown. No. Take down. Oh my God, you touched my nose with it. Wow. It's a kebab. I was just goofing around. You can't rip it. It doesn't. Actually, maybe it does. It doesn't rip that easy.
I know.
Alright, enough of that nonsense.
What are you doing?
Good cleaning.
Why did you take it out? Where's the water?
No, because all the water.
Dry it off.
Thank you for watching. It's Padme Amidala. Bye.
I did not
Oh
see
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's up? Bye.